All right, and congratulations. A bit of an upset as the Reputation Cartel wins over Warlords of the Deep. And I'm going to toss it right to the commentators. Bacchanalian, what do you think about that match?
I think it was a fantastic match. Rep Cartel was kicking themselves after they brought a very solid counter to the Warlords of the Deep setup in the first match and outplayed themselves. Ran out the boundary and threw a match that they really should have won. So they wanted to come back and really, bring a strong setup and win convincingly. That's exactly what they did. I think they only lost one ship, a frigate, and they came out there and just wiped the floor with the Warlords team, which is not, I think, what anyone expected. Hydra, these guys have one of the strongest teams in the tournament. So we're going to 3 in what should be really exciting semifinal.
Yeah, definitely. Rep Cartel's really showing up today, except for the boundary violation. We'll just act like that didn't happen since they did such a good job in round 2. When they came on the field there, like, Legions are definitely a decent pick against that. Obviously I think that Vindicators and Chronai could have beat the Hydra setup, but since that was all banned out, I think that the Amar setup was amazing, and it's good to see both Navy Hurricanes and Navy Harbingers on the field.
Yeah, it's exciting seeing those. The one thing I've really liked to see this weekend, a lot of the new Odyssey ships, a lot of the Odyssey rebalanced ships, and of course some of the faction battleships that we've changed the points on. So it is really shaken up the meta and changed things a lot. So it's really exciting stuff.
All right, and we do have the kitten cam going. So yay, Mythbusters kittens. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. But yeah, back to spaceships. Now, Rise, this is our first match that's going to the full 3 of 3. So Warlords winning the first round, Reputation Cartel winning the second round. What do you think? What do you think's who's gonna take this one for going into the third match?
I don't know. I usually would say Warlords of the Deep, hands down. I have like a lot of faith in Hart and Duncan, and so I kind of am rooting for them. But I poked Duncan between matches last match, and he seemed super shaken up. He felt like they got super lucky to get away with it, and he didn't sound like super sure of himself going forward. So I'm not sure who actually has the best chance.
And of course, you a tournament, longtime tournament captain. So you've seen some of these teams, especially teams like the Warlords of the Deep team, come up through the years and have a huge. I'm sorry, commentator.
I was gonna say, long time captain, kill 2, charge a tournament forever. But yeah, no, I mean, of course, a lot of the teams in SCL are really experienced in it. It would be, silly to try to say that one team is like got way more claim to winning than some other, but definitely Hart and Duncan are really smart. I've talked to Duncan a lot about the game, and I feel like I've always felt like he's one of the smartest Eve players that I've talked to. So, I always kind of put my faith in him.
Now, Bacchanalian did mention the faction battleships, which you are working on. We're going to talk about those in just a moment. I do want to get back to our trivia, sponsored by SomerBlink, our wonderful sponsor. So the winner for the Daredevil, the first prize for SCL 3, is going to be in what? Well, the question is, in what region is the Eve Gate located? The answer is Genesis, and the winner is Soul Gambler. So congratulations to Soul Gambler winning the Daredevil, sponsored by SomerBlink. Now, our next trivia question will be for a Vigilant. And the question for this trivia is, which tournament had the Tempest Tribal Issue and the State Issue Raven as prizes? So again, that question is, which tournament had the Tempest Tribal Issue and the State Issue Raven as prizes. And you are going to send point zero 0.01 ISK to Miss Goodloots with your answers. And that is for a Vigilant sponsored by SomerBlink. And a big thank you to our other sponsors, CCP Games, and of course, the wonderful Lorkin Desal. Now, getting back to these battleships, right? You were just telling us that you are in the CSM feedback stage. Now, we do have a new CSM, a new CSM 8 is in office and is working. What is it like working with them?
Yeah, so I'll sort of, I don't know, clean up that statement a little bit. We're past
Please.
CSM stage with the normal battleships, but I'm actually almost done with the Navy battleships, and so that's kind of something new, maybe a little exciting for people that we're hoping to get the entire Navy package out for Odyssey. It's not totally set yet, but it's getting there, and I am in the CSM stage with that, and like between during the match, Brent was asking me how that works and how I'm involved with CSM, and it might be because I'm sort of new and I'm not jaded enough yet, but I think the CSM is like a really amazing resource, and I'm for both the Tech One battleships and everything related to them, as well as the Navy battleships I'm working on now. I've been in like constant contact with um, the CSM through our Skype chat and also through our CSM forums, and I think it's really amazing resource. There's a lot of really smart people, and they represent a lot of different environments from Eve, so it's a really good way to check sort of my assumptions about how the different parts of the game that I have direct experience with work. I can check with the CSM and get really good feedback from them, and it's been extremely helpful for both sets of ships, and I hope it continues to be that way. As I'm here longer and longer. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't, but I'm really excited about the new CSM as well. They've only been here like a week, and they've already just like jumped in and been really awesome. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
That's great to hear. It's great to hear that the CSM is jumping in with both feet on this one. And I'm sure you had great feedback from CSM 7 when you were working with them, right?
Yeah, of course. I was actually impressed. I mean, I know a lot of them have been there a while, and they were at the very end of their term. Like even right leading into FanFest, I was hassling them every day about the Tech One battleships, and they were still willing to talk about it. Of course, with any Eve like feature or topic, some people are going to be more interested in than others, and I've actually been surprised how many of them are excited to talk about balance in detail. Like it's kind of exhausting in a way, and even right leading up to FanFest, CSM7 was like there every day, like spamming Skype with me about numbers for battleships. So, yep, pretty good stuff.
So what's your favorite project you're working on right now?
Um, um, well, actually, the thing that was most interesting for me is still sort of secret, so I won't mention that. But it's
Second.
yeah, the Navy battleships have been really fun. Um, it's like a little liberating how they make up. They're not as core to the game, so it feels like there's a little more freedom to kind of do something a little more out of the box or a little more exciting and get away with it because they're not like so central to the game like Tech One battleships are. Not that I held back a ton with the Tech One battleships, but it's just nice to work on those and get to like do some really fun stuff. I scared myself this week. Me and Fozzie went on to test some of them, and we're like, oh my god, we can't send these out this way. It's way too good, and so we're like tuning them back a little bit now because they were a little too fun.
So, can you tell us about some of the roles or general changes that you're planning on making with Navy battleships?
Yeah, like, one big thing is I think it seems like it fits pretty well to leave some of the bonus setups like as throwbacks to the Tech Ones that I mangled to the Tech One rebalance. So like the Geddon is keeping the rate of fire bonus and the cap use bonus, so it'll look more or less how it already does. The Dami is keeping the split weapons. The Typhoon is getting a split weapon bonus instead of the missile velocity bonus, so you can do cannons or missiles. A lot of that kind of stuff is happening, like bonuses that are not the same as the Tech One variant, and I think people will be excited about that. It's kind of cool to have that option. And then some of them are still not totally set. The CNR has been the most complicated. We've been talking about the CNR for like a week and a half now, and it's very delicate, but it may end up looking a lot like the Navy Drake, the new Navy Drake. We're not positive, but
Well, that's pretty exciting. I know that the CNR is probably a difficult one to balance because you've got, the whole wave of Care Bear tiers that might come if that you do something they don't like.
yeah, and I mean I've said this before, but a really interesting challenge with balance that I was not, I don't know, I didn't quite understand until I really started talking with people both at FanFest and on the forums and whatever. But most people PvE, like with any rebalancing we look at doing it, unless it's like hacks or something, it probably affects PvEers more than PvPers, and so it is really important to not. I mean, it's not just about like tiers or whatever. I really have to avoid screwing stuff up for people that are really happy with the ship the way it is, including PvEers, and that can be really challenging if you want to make the ship exciting for PvP or for any other environment. But
yeah, I hadn't
can you
even
hear my
really.
Skype? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I hadn't really thought about that. That's interesting. As soon as you started talking about it, though, I was like, oh yeah, he's probably got to think about the PvE end of all of this because there are people that are, I don't know, masochistic that like to do that type of stuff.
A lot of them, it turns out. It's crazy when you look at metrics for do people use ships. Like if you look at like what's the most common fitted mod on a Navy Megathron, it's likely going to be a Metaphor rail. Like that's usually the case.
Now, I know we all love talking about spaceships, but we have two teams waiting to blow each other up right now. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Then.
So we are going to do bans for Pandemic Legion. They have banned the Mollusk and the Carries. For Insurance Fraud Inc., they have banned the Loki and the Tengu. So the teams are on the field. What are your predictions? We'll start with Brent.
Well, we've got the same bans, and I would expect PL to come with the exact same tinker because they're so comfortable and so practiced with it. And since they are so comfortable and practiced with it, I don't see IFI taking this one.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I'm cheating a little bit because I can look at the set, see what's in front of me on the field. But Pandemic Legion, obviously, given those bans, is going to bring the same thing back. There's no reason to change it. They won just fine with it before, and there's no sign that Insurance Fraud knows how to beat it yet. So it's up to Insurance Fraud to change up their strategy and see if they can make something work here. And I'm not 100% confident they can do it.
All right. And what about you, Rice?
I mean, because Grath is spoiling it in chat, I'm just assuming the Tinker is there as well. I don't know. I think that it's likely that, like Wildcat and them, I forget IFI, they'll bring hopefully something a little better, so it'll be a little closer. But I don't know if it'll be enough. But I wouldn't expect them to bring it very soon, I guess, is what I'll say.
PL and their freaking spoilers. Well, here we go with semifinal 2, round 2, Insurance Fraud Inc. versus Pandemic Legion here on SCL 3. This is Ari Danica in the studio, along with Bacchanalian, Brent, and CCP Rise, throwing it to our commentary team, Elendar and Selderain.